Why did my girlfriend vanish the night I finally said her name right? When I was 7, I started hearing colors, not imagining them, hearing them. My mom's red dress hummed like a cello. The blue sky buzzed with a low, steady frequency only I could pick up. I thought everyone heard the world like a symphony, until I told my dad his green shirt sounded angry, and he took me to 3 different doctors. Turns out, I have chromesthesia. My brain is cross-wired, so colors produce sound. Less than 1% of people experience it. Every color has a pitch, a texture, a rhythm. Some colors sing, others scream. By middle school, I'd learned to keep it to myself. You tell a kid their yellow backpack sounds like someone crying, and you eat lunch alone for a year. I avoided art museums because the noise was overwhelming. Concerts were fine, paintings were chaos. Dating was its own disaster. How do you tell someone that when they blush, their cheeks produce a sound so sharp it gives you a migraine? So I stopped explaining. I just lived in my private orchestra and let everyone think I was quiet. Then, 3 years ago, I walked into a flower shop on a Wednesday afternoon. I needed something for my sister's birthday. The shop was small, crammed with arrangements screaming different melodies at me. And then I heard it. Silence. Complete, impossible silence. A woman was arranging white lilies behind the counter, and the flowers in her hands made no sound at all. That had never happened. White was usually a faint hum, like a refrigerator in the next room. But these lilies were mute. I stared at her hands and her face and realized it wasn't the flowers, it was her. Everything she touched went quiet. Green stems, pink ribbon, purple wrapping paper. Colors that should have been deafening just dissolved into nothing around her fingers. "My name is Lyra," she said, and her voice was the first sound that didn't compete with the colors. Clean, whole. I came back the next day for flowers I didn't need, and the next. By the 4th visit, I told her the truth. "I hear colors," I said, bracing for the look I'd gotten 100 times. She didn't flinch. She tilted her head and asked, "What do I sound like?" Nobody had ever asked that. "You sound like nothing," I told her. "And I mean that in the most beautiful way possible. You're the only silence I've ever known." She reached across the counter and took my hand, and the room went so still. I could hear my own heartbeat for the first time without competition. We fell into each other fast. She learned which colors were painful, and started wearing white and soft blues. The ones that barely whispered. She painted her apartment in pale tones so I could exist in her space without flinching. She'd hold my face during thunderstorms when every flash of lightning shrieked through me. Nobody had ever rearranged their world to make mine bearable. But here's the thing about Lyra. Her name was the only sound I couldn't get right. When anyone else said it, it was just a name. When I said it, it came out slightly distorted, like a note played a quarter tone flat. She'd laugh and say it sounded fine, but I could hear it wasn't. I practiced in the mirror, in the shower, whispering it into pillows at 2 a.m. She became my favorite person, and I couldn't even say her name correctly. 14 months in, I woke up one morning and whispered Lyra, and it came out perfect. Crystal clear, no distortion, no flat notes. I sat up so fast it startled her awake. I said it again, Lyra. She smiled in a way I'd never seen before, something between pride and grief. "You finally said it right," she whispered. I was so happy I didn't notice the tears until they were already running down her face. "Why are you crying?" She pressed her forehead against mine. "Because the colors around me aren't silent anymore, are they?" I froze. The pale blue sheets were humming. The white curtains, humming. The lavender pillow behind her head was singing a sound I hadn't heard in 14 months. I grabbed her hand, and the green of a plant on the nightstand didn't go quiet. For the first time since I'd met her, her touch changed nothing. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor 6 months ago. It's in the temporal lobe, the part that would make someone hear colors. The tumor's why everything went quiet around me, and it's why you could never say my name. Your brain was trying to tell you something was wrong.